Okay, I don't want this title to be misleading because obviously, if you're learning something new, there is going to have to be some sort of element of study involved, especially when that something is tarot. There's an endless amount of ways to learn tarot. I argue that you're always going to be able to learn more with tarot. However, if you're somebody like me who suffers from the ADHD, sometimes traditional study methods do not work for you. I have solutions. So, I'm going to teach you how to learn how to read tarot without traditional study methods. But before we begin, hi, my name is JX Tarot. I am a professional tarot reader, intuitive, brujo, etc., etc. I've been doing this work for over 10 years, professionally for 5. And I have a pretty okay following on TikTok if you want to, go follow me there. And I'm going to be honest, this process has not been a simple or easy one for me. However, it can be for you, which is why I've decided to make this video. So stick around, maybe you'll learn something, and yeah, let me know what you think. I don't know what that is, but okay. First and foremost, you will absolutely need a tarot deck. Duh. So go over to your local crystal shop, buy an overpriced tarot deck, and bam, you're already on your way to becoming a professional reader. I add this part to the video because I think that everyone should start reading with the traditional tarot imagery. Rider Waite, Smith Waite, whatever style, it doesn't matter, but it needs to be the traditional tarot imagery. And a lot of people are not going to agree with that. And to those people, I say,
You know where you could kiss it, because you don't pay my bills.
yes, I love alternative, weird, colorful, off the beaten path tarot decks. They're great, they're fun. I use them all the time. In fact, I don't even think I have a traditional imagery tarot deck in my possession anymore. But I say this because if you are able to read on a traditional tarot deck, you can read absolutely any tarot deck. It doesn't matter what type of imagery, what type of suits they use, what sort of intuitive messages are being thrown in there. You will have a very strong foundation to where you won't even need a book when you buy a new tarot deck. You will just be able to start pulling, start reading, and it'll be accurate. And you will be able to read these because you're going to be able to use your by the book knowledge mixed with your intuition, which I argue that any good tarot reader is going to be able to use both. So if you're just starting out, doesn't mean you can't buy the fancy, nice, expensive decks, but buy a cheap Rider Waite, Smith Waite, traditional imagery tarot deck. I promise you, it will help you so long in this process. So now you finally have your tarot deck. We need to start talking about the process of actually learning the tarot. Now, I don't have time to go through every single interpretation of every single card. That is the complete opposite point of this video. We're trying to learn how to read tarot without having to do these crazy study tactics, without having to memorize words and cards and imagery and all of this stuff. We're just wanting to learn at a natural pace for us to not have to put so much effort in. The first tip is by finding readers that you like and start immersing yourself into the culture. Like learning any other language, immersion is the most effective way to learn and an effective way to also learn quickly. For example, in my attempt to become more fluent in Spanish, traditional classes never worked for me. Sitting down or writing down definitions, studying, memorizing that stuff, I forgot it all. I would forget it all almost immediately. That stuff never worked for me. But what did work for me was moving to Mexico City, immersing myself into the culture, consuming Spanish media, and even dating somebody who only speaks to me in Spanish. That is when I started becoming more fluent. That is when my rapid learning began. This is also the answer when it comes to tarot. Now, obviously, you can't date somebody who speaks to you only in tarot interpretations, or at the very least, you shouldn't date somebody who speaks to you in only tarot interpretations. But there is a huge tarot community online. There are plenty of readers online on every single platform. You need to start consuming their media. You need to start watching these videos. Find your top 5 and watch them regularly. This is your key to quick learning tarot, and this is the way I learned quickly. Back in the day, even before TikTok, on YouTube, there used to be readers that I really, really enjoyed. I would watch their pick a card readings, I would watch their collective messages, their zodiac sign messages, whatever long form content they had, I would consume it, and I was infatuated. This is honestly where the turning point for my learning began. Because again, prior to this, I was trying to study. I was doing all of these traditional methods, journaling, actively trying to learn, and none of it stuck for me. It never stuck. Maybe if I kept with it, it would have stuck eventually. But it wasn't until I started consuming this media and actually becoming interested in this media where I was able to sort of pick and choose what it was that I liked from each reader that I was watching, and I was able to develop my own style. It just made sense to me. So again, don't bite the style off of a reader completely, but you're going to find things that you really enjoy about certain readers, certain interpretations, how they shuffle their cards, what spreads they use, how they almost like draw a narrative and paint a picture through the tarot. Absorb it, watch it, become really interested in it. Eventually, what you'll find is that you've developed your own style of reading, and it's almost like this amalgamation of all the readers that have come before you, and it's a pretty cool experience. Pick 4 or 5 readers that you like, stick with them, watch them, study them. Triggered, study them without studying them, okay? Uh, Eventually, you're going to be able to unintentionally even craft something that works for you. I have regular clients that literally are like, Jake, I feel like I know how to read tarot just because I've gotten readings from you and I've rewatched them and it just makes sense to me. And I'm like, well, yep, that's how it works. My camera died. Sorry. Hopefully this works. Next, you need to start incorporating tarot into your daily life. For a lot of people, this means pulling a card every day in the morning and journaling and writing the meanings and writing down your reflections and what this entails for you and yada, 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 yada. And I never did that. I never did that, okay? I incorporated tarot into my daily life by asking questions about my daily life. For example, if I had a problem, I pulled cards on that problem. If there was drama in my friend group, I pulled cards on that situation. If there was a love situation, I pulled advice. What do I do? What is it that I need to know about the situation? If my money was looking bad, I asked what I can do. Should I stay at this job? Should I shift? What do I do to pivot and to improve my situation? And from there, I didn't really take notes. I took voice memos over what came up. It was an easy way for me to passively include tarot into my life because it was providing me some sort of benefit. And you know what? Sometimes it is very difficult to read for yourself because we start seeing what we want to see with the tarot. We start confusing our anxiety with our intuition. I will get to that point. We will talk about it. But at the end of the day, I was practicing. I was getting myself out there. I was pulling cards and I was exposing myself to what it looked like to become an active reader. So the point of immersion sort of encompasses these two things. You need to start consuming media and you just got to start pulling cards for yourself. Also, side note, when I was pulling these cards and I didn't know what they meant, I was just quickly Googling what they meant and then correlating that meaning to whatever was happening in my life, to whatever question I was asking. I was finding a way to make it fit. And while that may kind of feel like, well, you're kind of just forcing a narrative, trust, forcing a narrative is what makes you start learning how to trust your intuition, which is the key to all of this. I can go on forever about this topic. This leads into the next point. Fourth, if you are becoming fatigued with the amount of interpretations, the amount of memorization, even though you're not actively trying to study, there's still a lot to learn passively. If you are becoming overwhelmed, the easiest way to start allowing yourself to more betterly understand the cards, I don't know if that makes sense, but to understand the cards better is by correlating specific aspects of your life to the cards. For example, I'm just going to break this deck. We're going to pull one card from the top. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow moving card. In the reverse, it is at a standstill. And Pentacles tend to be about stability, money, finances. So an easy way for me to interpret this card is by correlating a time in my life where I was making no money. The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, there was no money coming in. I was stagnated. I was at a standstill. I was in between jobs. It felt like I was making no progress forward towards something. I'll correlate this card to that point in my life. So whenever I get this card, I can then start correlating that situation to a similar situation or in the context of whatever it is I'm asking. I hope that makes sense. So if I pulled this card about a love situation, even though it's not directly about money or being stuck in terms of money, Maybe this situation, in terms of getting to a long term stable situation in love, means that we are just at a standstill. Maybe me and this person in love are just not moving. Maybe they're not making moves towards me. There is a lack of motion. Okay? Are we getting that? Cool. Look at you, reading cards, being a professional. We love it. Start correlating aspects of your life into the tarot cards. You will be able to memorize a lot faster. Fifth, this goes into the intuition topic. You need to just start trusting yourself. Even when it doesn't make sense, start reaching. So let's break the deck. We have the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Cups. So let's say we know generally what these cards mean. We have the Ten of Swords, which tends to be a very defeated energy. It is the end of a cycle of defeat, but often it indicates being in a situation that's causing significant pain, sometimes backstabbing energy. It's not a fun energy. We also have the Seven of Cups here, which does indicate sometimes options or head in the clouds type of energy, right? So if I'm asking what a particular friendship dynamic is like, I know that the Ten of Swords is not a very happy energy, so possibly the other person could be feeling very down or very stabbed in the back. And with the Seven of Cups, this is something that's heavily on somebody's mind. Head in the clouds, daydreaming, can't really get a grip, can't really get over it. Maybe this is your energy as well. I don't know. This is a false scenario. Sometimes it'll make perfect sense. Sometimes you're going to feel like these scenarios are a reach. It doesn't matter. What you're doing is learning how to tap into your intuition. Once you start immediately correlating meanings to cards, you're going to be able to remove the junk that says, oh, this isn't right. Oh, this doesn't make sense. Whatever anxiety is there, you're going to be able to work past it and start learning how to tap into that intuition, even if it's not perfect right away, right? So understand that when you first start doing tarot, it is not gospel. Tarot will never be gospel. Tarot is always going to be contingent on a present energy, on a present timeline. However, once you start getting into the practice of learning how to tap into that quick intuition, this first instinct, this gut feeling, your readings are going to become a lot more accurate, a lot more quickly. And what you're going to find is that memorizing becomes so much easier. And this is a little caveat tip. If you are reading and you are finding yourself struggling with delineating between truth and intuition and anxiety, begin your tarot readings by clearing out your space, meditating, getting yourself calm, doing whatever it is that you need to do to find yourself zen, centered, safe, whatever, and ask yourself a question that you already know the answer to. That is the perfect way to calibrate your questions. That is the perfect way to ensure that the energy is right, accurate, and is feeling good, right? Ask the card something you know the complete answer to. Not what you assume, not what you think, not about somebody's feelings, because all that we see isn't always the truth, right? Ask something you definitively know. Ask the cards, see what comes up. If it correlates to the answer that you know is correct, you know that you're in the right energy. And from there forward, you set this precedence of like, okay, I feel good. I feel like this energy is right. Believing is manifesting. Believing is attracting. If you feel as though that your cards are accurate, if you feel as though that your cards are right, they will start coming out more accurate. They will start coming out more correctly. So that's all in the mindset. Tarot is a tool of navigating your intuition. Alongside learning the art of tarot, you should also be trying to strengthen your intuition. It will come with practice like everything else. If you're doing this passively, your intuition will likely also increase passively. I just wanted to get this little video out there because I'm asked a lot, how do you read tarot? How did you learn how to read tarot? And I'm like, well, my way was kind of lazy compared to most. So if you're like me and that's the best path for you, hopefully this video provided you some useful information. In the meantime, if you're in need of a reading or a service, my website is linked down below. I have socials pretty much everywhere online, JX Tarot. So look me up, follow me. I plan on making a lot more content and videos in the future, not just tarot based, spirituality, travel, witchcraft, you name it. I got it, or I will make it, hopefully. So, yeah, take care of yourself. and I'll see you again in the future.